Did you know that if you have kidney disease, combining just 2 specific supplements can actually cut your proteinuria in half? And not only that, these supplements can also repair the microvessels within your organs, giving an immediate boost to your kidney health. Proteinuria or albuminuria is one of the most critical markers for kidney health. It's like a crystal ball that predicts if your kidney function will improve or worsen at your next checkup. Imagine having the power to take control of this predictor, knowing that you're actively improving your numbers with a simple combination of supplements. I've witnessed firsthand the power of this combination of remedies, and today I'm also going to show you 9 incredibly easy yet powerful tips not only to stop proteinuria but also to tackle some of the most common kidney health concerns. Be ready to say goodbye to excess potassium, let go of oxalate worries, and finally find relief from swelling. My name is Catherine and I'm a doctor of natural medicine. Let's get back immediately to the supplements that cut proteinuria in half. First up, astragalus. Now, if you've got kidney disease especially, but not just with diabetes, astragalus is a game changer. This ancient root has been used for centuries to tackle kidney issues. Yeah guys, centuries, back when natural medicine was literally just medicine. So let's just say astragalus was healing kidneys long before science decided to catch up and give it the thumbs up. In fact, research actually shows that it actually works, especially on proteinuria. But here's the key. Don't take astragalus solo. You always want to pair it with turmeric for maximum effect. When combined, these 2 supplements aren't just bodies. They're a dynamic duo with the ability to repair microvessels throughout your organs. So not only are you targeting proteinuria, but you're also addressing diabetes at its root. Astragalus and turmeric are in fact also able to reduce the beta cell damage. Beta cells are the cells inside your pancreas, the cells that actually make insulin. So this is why these supplements are a must for any patient with kidney disease. The only patients to which I wouldn't recommend this combo are those on immunosuppressants. By the way, you should also be able to see the dosages for these supplements in my slide on screen right now. Feel free to take a screenshot here if you want. Now, some people may prefer not to take turmeric powder because of the oxalate content. While the oxalate you will get from these supplements is a very small amount, which is very unlikely to cause you problems, you may prefer to use a curcumin extract supplement instead. There are various brands offering 95% curcumin extract, and these are virtually oxalate-free, so keep that in mind as well. Up next, number 2, this is going to be a super easy tip that will drastically improve your kidney health. Number 2 is how to take vitamin D and CoQ10 to lower potassium levels. Look, high potassium levels are a nightmare. You've got to avoid bananas, avocados, tomatoes, potatoes, spinach, and much more, all because of a single lab test result. Spinach, avocados, and bananas are some of the best health food for kidney patients. A diet rich in all fruit and vegetables is known to be the key, not just to stop CKD, but even to improve your renal function, says science. But nope, you're left wondering what to eat for dinner while all the best options are forbidden. So, how do we bring back the forbidden fruits? Both vitamin D and CoQ10 are known to have, a multitude of health benefits. But in particular, they are also known to be some of the most effective blood pressure lowering supplements on earth. If you would start taking both these supplements, lowering your blood pressure by up to 20% will be a possibility. But how do these pills help you get your bananas back? Simple, your high potassium isn't coming from munching on avocados or blending spinach into your smoothie. No, it's your medications, especially the blood pressure meds, ACE inhibitors and ARBs. So here's where vitamin D and CoQ10 come in. By lowering your blood pressure, they might just let your doctor reduce your dosage for those meds, freeing you from potassium purgatory. And yeah, that's exactly how a small change can produce a huge positive result. Up next, number 3, time for a tip aimed exactly at the core of your problem. Number 3 is add more fiber to slow down CKD progression. Not many people know this, but the amount of fiber you eat every day is directly correlated to your kidney function. The more fiber the more the kidney function. It's as simple as that. Now that you've got your potassium situation under control, bringing in more fiber should be easy peasy. Here's the plan. Start every single meal, and I mean all of them, with a fiber-rich food. For example, you could start every lunch with an apple or a pear with a peel. Yeah, we're not peeling off the best part here. And you can turn rolled oats into your breakfast table number 1. Freeze your favorite fruits such as berries, bananas, grapes, and snack on them when you're hungry. Switch to lunch of greens and beans. Yes, improving your kidney function also means focusing on fiber. And of course, you can also add a supplement of psyllium husk, for example. But keep in mind that supplements are not a replacement for a healthy diet. Okay, next tip. Number 4, let's overcome the next obstacle on the road to a better kidney health. One of the scariest anti-nutrients out there. I mean, according to internet influencers at least, oxalate. Oxalate is, for some people, yet another reason not to eat vegetables. To avoid, dangerous foods like spinach, rhubarb, beets, legumes, nuts, and other clearly malevolent plants plotting your demise by filling your kidneys with painful stones. So people listen to influencers, they get scared, and they start avoiding these extremely healthy foods. And when they do this, they will have very hard times improving their kidney function, unfortunately. Because as I was saying, eating enough fiber every day is key for a better kidney function. But hey, these people may be risking their kidneys, but at least they are going to avoid kidney stones, alright? Right? Well, no, actually they won't. In fact, in a plot twist that will make even Christopher Nolan jealous, avoiding spinach and rhubarb won't help you with kidney stones at all. Yes, this is what recent research found out. In fact, as you can read, it's not the food you eat the primary source of urinary excretion of oxalate. Not at all. It's your own body. Damn new science, always getting in the way of a good, lucrative misinformation campaign. So, think about this for a moment. Even if you're religiously avoiding spinach and rhubarb like they're tax collectors, you might still end up with kidney stones because your body is more complex than these internet doctors believe, after all. But does that mean that anyone with risk factors for kidney stones is doomed? Should we all just throw in the towel and start a kidney stone collection? Well, hold on to your kale smoothies. There is hope yet. Fortunately, for those enduring this excruciating condition, there is a solution that doesn't involve boycotting wholesome foods. It's calcium supplementation. Yes, those supplements that can be used to protect your kidneys from phosphorus. Well, they can protect from oxalate as well, because do you remember what influencers say about oxalate? That oxalate is an anti-nutrient because it binds to other nutrients. Well, you can use this property to make oxalate completely innocuous. Oxalate binds to calcium. So if you add just enough calcium to your meals, the risk for oxalate stones goes away. And remember, staying well hydrated is also crucial as it dilutes urine and reduces the concentration of stone-forming minerals. Okay guys, number 5, let's take a look at yet another simple tip to get rid of a very annoying issue, swelling. Swelling in CKD patients is as common as traffic jams on a Monday morning. So, if your legs are starting to mimic the Michelin Man without your consent, well, congratulations! You've joined the exclusive club of fluid hoarders. But what can we do to get rid of that annoying issue? Well, make sure you are not deficient in magnesium and vitamin B6, or even better, supplement them. Look, I know that not all cases of swelling can be solved with a couple of supplements. There are prescription diuretics for those cases, but please hear me out about this. If you have CKD, you are probably already taking a loop diuretic, Lasix, furosemide, Demodex, Edequine, something like that, very common. Now, these come with a couple of side effects, of course. Most notably, they deplete an essential mineral, magnesium, which of course plays a crucial role in fluid balance, and a lot of other stuff actually. So yeah, you know where I'm going with this, right? Many patients are suffering from a cause of swelling that could be treated extremely effectively and safely with a couple of supplements. In fact, vitamin B6 and magnesium don't just improve each other absorption. They are also known to greatly help with swelling. Now guys, I have added some dosages recommendations for these two essential nutrients in my slide on screen. But while vitamin B6 in the dose you see here is 100% safe for everyone, especially if you are getting it from a renal multivitamin, patients in the advanced stages should get tested for magnesium levels at least a couple of times a year, alright? In fact, magnesium deficiency is not just a cause for fluid retention, it causes hypertension, weakness, anxiety, and trouble sleeping. So make sure you are not suffering from it. Okay, up next, number 6. Okay, let's see another recommendation to make you sleep better. Because, and keep this in mind, getting a good night of sleep can actually make a huge difference with kidney health. So how do we achieve that goal? Well, try some banana with some almond butter before going to sleep. Yeah, that's right, a snack you'd find in a toddler's lunchbox is apparently the golden ticket to sleep like a rock. Oh, you didn't see that one coming? Well, grab your blankie because there is a bedtime story here. In fact, this combination of foods is not random at all. Bananas are super healthy, but what not many people know is that you can make these delicious fruits even healthier by having one before bedtime. How, you ask? Well, bananas are among the select few fruits that contain a decent amount of the so-called happy hormone, serotonin. Yeah, that's why many people love eating bananas so much. It's not the potassium, it's the serotonin. And you know what? Our body converts some serotonin into melatonin, the sleep hormone. And there is more. Remember what I was saying about having low magnesium levels? That you're practically begging to lie in bed staring at the ceiling wondering why sleep is evading you if you're low on that mineral? Well, do you know what's full of magnesium? Almond butter. And it's not just that. Almonds are also a source of melatonin, just like bananas. So here's a combination of foods that really protects the kidneys as long as you eat it before bed. I mean, who knew that snacking like a kid could make you a healthier adult? Okay, up next, number 7, let's go from a food combo to a medication supplement combo. Yeah, not as tasty, but maybe even more effective in protecting your kidneys. Supplement folic acid if you are taking an ARB or an ACE inhibitor. Oh, ARBs and ACE inhibitors, one day they are your best friend, one day they are your worst enemy. Now, navigating the risks and benefits of these medications is just as confusing as a diet plan that lets you eat butter but bans spinach. They protect you when you're in stage 3. They are very bad in stage 5 and nobody knows yet what happens in the middle. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit here. But what we know for sure is that taking ARBs and ACE inhibitors will mess with certain vitamin and mineral levels. Potassium is the most well-known here, of course. But these medications can also deplete certain vitamins. Maybe most serious issue is B9 or folate depletion. So if your goal is to keep your kidney as healthy as possible for as long as possible, always supplement vitamin B9 or folate when you're taking an ARB or an ACE inhibitor. A very large study was in fact able to link a 44% slower decline in renal function to supplementing 0.8 milligrams a day of folate when taking one of these medications. Folate plays a key role in breaking down homocysteine, an amino acid that can exert harmful effects in the body. Homocysteine is linked to increased risk of cardiovascular disease, end-stage renal disease, and death. So yeah, taking some vitamin B9 may be the key to get the benefits of ARBs and ACE inhibitors without some of the side effects. Okay, up next, tip number 8. We have seen how to reduce the risk associated with common medications. Now, let's talk about the risk associated with common medical exams. Wow, risk with exams, you say? Oh, absolutely. Some medical exams could put your kidneys in more danger than a goldfish at a cat expo. Let me explain. There are actually certain medical exams that could put your kidneys in danger, and I'm talking about exams such as X-rays, CT scans, and MRIs. Now, you might have heard that the radiation from these exams can damage your kidneys, but that's not true. That's misinformation. The only way in which imaging exams can damage your kidneys is due to the contrast dye that's sometimes used in these exams. So, radiation gets a free pass, but the contrast dye, that's the shady character lurking in the hospital corridors. Keep that in mind because that's actually a serious risk. There are reported cases of patients in stage 3 being pushed in stage 5 by the contrast dye used in a single CT scan. So yeah, Imagine doing a scan to find out what's wrong with your kidneys, just to see the scan upgrade your condition from concern to catastrophic. I mean, it's like visiting the dentist for a cleaning and living with dentures. It's like calling tech support because your computer is slow and they fix it by tossing it into the ocean. Not nice. And while leaving a bad Yelp review won't really help in this situation, learning about the issue surely will. This is something called contrast-induced acute kidney injury. It's a type of damage done by oxidative stress. And of course, avoiding exams done with contrast is best strategy here. But it's not like doctors prescribe those exams for fun. So let's hope this is not the case. But you may actually need doing one of those exams. So, what can we do to mitigate the damage in that case? There is an antioxidant that can help us. NAC or N-acetylcysteine, or as I like to call it, your kidney's new best friend. Now, NAC is one of the most powerful antioxidants on earth with incredible kidney protecting benefits. If you take NAC in the right dose, it can be effectively used long-term to prevent oxidative damage to the kidneys. Because guess what? This kind of damage doesn't just happen during imagine exams. Everyday life is full of oxidative stress. It's the pathway in which diabetes damages your kidneys, for example. And NAC is actually so good at protecting your kidneys from this damage that it was actually used to lower creatinine by 50% in a study. I mean, that's like cutting your taxes in half overnight. Where do I sign up? And if you want to take this powerful antioxidant, keep in mind that NAC is most effective when consumed on an empty stomach. So, there you have it. Avoid the contrast diet like it's a telemarketer during dinner and consider NAC your new best friend. I mean, as long as you want your kidneys to last more than an iPhone's battery life. Okay, up next, our number 9 for today. Let's talk about the easiest way to beat maybe the nastiest complication of kidney disease. Number 9 is use calcium supplements to save your kidneys from phosphorus. So we've already talked about how calcium supplements help with oxalate, but this supplement has another ace up its sleeve. Calcium can also bind to the phosphorus in the foods you eat. The phosphorus is then removed through the bowel, effectively stopping your body from taking extra phosphorus in. This is extremely helpful. In fact, when phosphorus accumulates, which is common in CKD, the body will pull out calcium from the bones. Yeah, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, except Peter is your skeleton and Paul is the steak you just ate. But wait, there is more. Phosphorus is the main culprit behind uremic pruritus, a fancy term for itching so bad you'd consider swapping your skin for sandpaper. It also, it makes kidney disease progress faster. And since phosphorus mostly comes from meat, fish, and dairy in particular, you may understand why those are better avoided. And it's also just one more reason to consider a calcium supplement. And if you want to know more about the complications of kidney disease and how to beat them, my video appears for you. And today, I'm finally making the video you all have been asking for. Today, we talk about how to start improving your GFR and creatinine numbers in all the stages of kidney disease, even in stage 5. So today, we are going to see what to do in each and every stage of CKD, alright? And there is also an essential mineral with antioxidant properties I want to show you because, it actually works. Now, let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into stage 3. Then, we'll also see what works for stage 4 and 5. I've got some tailor-made dietary advice, some personalized supplement recommendations, and also a short list of things to watch out for like your life depends on it. Because, it actually does. Before that, let's pretend you are a stage 3 patient and you are here in my office ready to talk to me. Hold up. Why am I skipping stage 1 and 2, you ask? Because if you've been diagnosed in stage 1 or 2, congratulations, you've still got enough kidney function to live a perfectly normal life. You're basically still in the kiddie pool. No need for the big boy renal diet yet. And forget about those hardcore CKD meds for now. But does that mean if you stroll into my office in stage 1 or 2, I'm gonna wave you off like a fly at a picnic? Am I gonna tell you to go ahead and chain smoke your life away, guzzle down tequila like it's water, and bet your last penny on that sure thing in an alley somewhere? No, of course not. I'm not here to hand out free passes to self-destruction. So here's the deal. If you are diagnosed in stage 1 and 2, usually it's either because of kidney damage that's visible in imaging tests or because someone noticed in a checkup you have protein leaking in your urine. Either way, these are not the kind of problems that just fix themselves like, the check engine light in your car. You need to nip that in the bud before it blossoms into something ugly, which means that you want to find out and take care of the cause of the damage. Usually, what is causing issues with the kidneys are conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, or in some cases, autoimmune or inflammatory conditions such as IgA nephropathy or glomerulonephritis. So here's what you need to do. First off, make sure you know what's causing the damage. Some of the conditions I've mentioned are treatable, which means you should never delay treatment initiation. And of course, you will want to focus on your general health. Remember, what's good for your heart is good for your kidneys as well. Okay guys, let's talk about CKD stage 3 now. But don't skip this part even if you are in stage 4 or 5. Because the treatment for CKD stage 3 is all about getting rid of the nasty renal toxins that are damaging your kidneys. And trust me, these toxins don't pack up and leave just because your CKD decides to level up. Nope, they are just like spam emails. The more you wait, the more you get. So the million-dollar question, what the hell are renal toxins and how do we evict them from your body? Renal toxins or uremic toxins are those toxins that the kidneys are supposed to remove. Stuff such as urea, creatinine, uric acid. These toxins are the reason why people with kidney failure actually need to do dialysis, alright? And there are two ways we are going to get rid of these toxins: antioxidant therapy and the diet. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick with these two like they're your new best friends, even as your CKD advances, even if you are already on dialysis with few adjustments. More about this later on in this video. But let's go with order and let's talk about antioxidant therapy. So we are still having an imaginary stage 3 patient here. And what I would suggest them is getting a lot more antioxidants, just like I would suggest to a stage 4 or 5 patient. Yes, in medical literature, there are documented cases of dialysis patients that were able to stop needing dialysis after receiving an antioxidant therapy, as we can see. By the way, this was done with CoQ10, a powerful antioxidant that I recommend taking with selenium. And while this is not a result we can reliably aim for, when the patient is already in dialysis, it's very clear in my experience that CKD patients in all the stages can benefit from this type of treatment, especially those in stage 3, and especially if they are suffering from conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, proteinuria, or inflammatory or autoinflammatory disorders. Now, one antioxidant I don't mention very often here is zinc. Now, this is very interesting. Having low levels of this mineral is linked to faster CKD progression, even in the general population. And of course, CKD patients tend to have low levels for this mineral because, we never miss out on anything, do we? So lately, I have been starting recommend to supplement zinc as a part of an antioxidant therapy. In fact, supplementing this nutrient is linked to reduced kidney damage done by diabetes, improved outcomes with high blood pressure, and patients with IgA nephropathy seem to benefit even more from zinc supplementation. Now, even more interesting, some recent studies are linking zinc supplementation to delayed CKD progression. So yeah, this is the mineral that you will probably want to supplement in all the stages of CKD. Now, when it comes to zinc, absorption may be an issue. There are various forms of zinc you could choose: citrate, acetate, glycerate, and more. The one I recommend is usually zinc picolinate. This seems to maximize zinc absorption, so you can take a daily dose as low as 30 milligrams. You can also supplement some vitamin C with your zinc supplement to maximize absorption. In any case, take zinc away from meals, especially if you are taking a calcium phosphate binder, since calcium and zinc compete for absorption. But zinc is just one of the many antioxidants you want to supplement. And now you may ask, what's the big deal? Why do I need all those antioxidants now? Well, let me explain. The way in which most pathologies damage the kidneys is through something called oxidative stress. So for example, in diabetes, high blood sugar levels lead to the overproduction of free radicals, particularly superoxide, which triggers various harmful pathways that damage the kidneys. Chronic inflammation involves the activation of immune cells like macrophages, which produce free radicals. Proteinuria and high blood pressure are similar since both generate reactive oxygen species, ROS in short, which are harmful free radicals. So yeah, I think you get the picture. Your kidneys are under siege, and if you don't start fighting back now, all you'll have left is some scar tissue and a bunch of regrets. And how do we stop these free radicals from turning your kidneys into a war zone reminiscent of Poland after World War II? Simple, we bombard them with a metric crap ton of antioxidants. Now let's talk about selenium, shall we? This little mineral is another powerhouse antioxidant, and guess what? Most CKD patients are running on empty when it comes to selenium, and given what I just said about free radicals, you may understand why having low levels of this essential mineral may be bad for your kidneys. But wait, there is more. CKD patients are also typically deficient in a whole laundry list of antioxidants, including vitamin C, vitamin E, and glutathione, and more. So yeah, when you have CKD, your body loses essential nutrients like a Boeing 737 MAX loses doors. You know what, guys? How come all these essential nutrients that also act as antioxidants are always low in CKD patients? I'm starting to think that all these antioxidants are low in CKD patients because the body uses them to combat free radicals. Could it be that oxidative stress is depleting essential nutrients in CKD patients? I mean, this could have a huge implication on dietary recommendations and daily nutrient intakes for people with CKD. Nobody ever made a paper about this. I could publish. I mean, I could just uncover... Hey! This is my idea, don't even think about... Okay, sorry guys, I got a little carried away there. Forget what I was just saying. But seriously guys, the takeaway is that there are several antioxidants that could really help those with CKD, and I'd recommend starting with them by the time you hit stage 3. In my experience, some of the most effective antioxidants for kidney health include vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, NAC, selenium, and CoQ10, of course. But I don't recommend starting all this at once. Actually, I recommend getting informed about each single supplement before taking it. I mean, nobody wants to overdose on vitamin C and end up with a kidney stone the size of a golf ball, right? So, get informed. Speaking of which, I'll be doing a new video about antioxidants shortly, so stay tuned, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss it. Okay, things are getting hot. Let's talk about stage 4 now. A lot more patients are going to be diagnosed when they reach CKD stage 4, and this is because symptoms are finally loud enough to get some attention. Now, if you are diagnosed in stage 4, don't lose hope. You can still do a lot to improve. So let's pretend that you're sitting in front of me and you're a stage 4 CKD patient. Now, the very first thing I will do is grab your lab tests and dive in like they're the final season of my favorite Netflix show. Why? Because I need to see if this person has complications and if they are receiving adequate treatment, because the whole treatment for this person is going to depend on that. Okay, who am I kidding? I'm not just gonna double check if this person has complications. With some stage 4 patients, I will have to count how many complications this person has that no one's bothered to treat. And trust me when I say that sometimes I will need more than one hand to count them all. So here's the big problem we are going to have to face starting in stage 4, complications of CKD. Complications are all those health conditions that are caused by kidney disease and that may, well, cause serious kidney damage. There are several complications that we need to pay attention to, and I will mention them from the most diagnosed to the least diagnosed, alright? Most diagnosed is hyperkalemia or too high potassium levels. Most patients know if they have this issue, luckily, but unfortunately many of them don't receive the appropriate treatment. Yeah, telling someone to avoid bananas is just like finding they are in a sinking boat and deciding to patch the hole with duct tape. Then there is mineral and bone disorder, or as I like to call it, the nightmare of wacky lab results. Low calcium, high phosphorus, low vitamin D, assuming they even bothered to check that. And let's not forget high PTH, which is basically your body's way of screaming, "Help, my bones are about to stage a revolt and my thyroid is gonna be next." You'd think with all these red flags, this would be hard to miss. But no, many patients don't find out they've got a bone problem until, when their bones start to Yeah. So always keep an eye on the levels I just mentioned, guys. You can also screenshot the slide on screen if you want. Now let's talk about the underdogs, those complications that are ignored even more often than bone issues. We've got metabolic acidosis lurking in the shadows, but the renal MVP of medical neglect is anemia. Anemia is probably the most ignored serious pathology on the planet for some reason. Maybe because doctors think that patients with anemia are too tired to sue them? Who knows? But don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. If you're wondering how to figure out whether you're dealing with one of these issues, I've got you covered. I made a whole video about it. Link is up here and also down in description. And yes, I have also talked about possible treatments for these issues because I'm not about to let you wander around in the dark. Now guys, there is one treatment that's a must in order to decrease the risk associated with all these complications. Let's talk about the diet for kidney disease, because I want you to keep this in mind. Many of my patients had huge improvements in their symptoms, proteinuria, nocturia, swelling, itching, fatigue, when they started to follow a proper renal diet. Why is that, you may ask? Because most of the symptoms of kidney disease are caused by toxin buildup, alright? And most of these toxins actually come from the metabolism of one single molecule, the nitrogen in the amino acids that form protein. The more toxins you're creating and your kidneys are working overtime without getting so much as a thank you. We're talking around the clock shifts, holidays included, with no pay or benefits. If your kidneys were employees, they'd be striking en masse and filing a class action lawsuit. Yeah, it's time to give them a break. That means cutting back on protein. And let's be clear, if you are in stage 4 or 5 of CKD, following a renal diet isn't just a good idea. It's a non-negotiable. By the way, patients in stage 3 are also supposed to follow a renal diet, alright? So let's talk about those foods that you thought were your best friends, but are actually traitors in disguise. Lean meat, fatty fish, dairy, they're like that charming friend who secretly talks smack about you behind your back. And don't even get me started on the junk you already knew was bad. Red meat, processed meat, junk food, sugar, and all those ultra-processed carbs. These are the prime suspects pumping nitrogen and other uremic toxins into your system. The fewer of these you've got floating around, the less likely your kidneys are to go on a strike. Now I get it. When someone walks into my office and I start talking about diet changes, they look at me like I just suggested they give up oxygen. Won't I need the protein? They ask. Won't a plant-based diet make me weak? They're confused, and honestly, who can blame them? The internet's full of so much dietary nonsense. It's a wonder anyone's still alive. But here's the truth. CKD patients absolutely need to start a low-protein diet. The sooner, the better. You are only going to feel weak if your diet is not properly adjusted for you. If you are not eating enough calories, for example, or you are not supplementing accordingly to your new diet. That's why you need someone who actually knows what they're talking about to set up a diet that works for you. So if your doctor or dietitian is still pushing yogurt and fish like it's 1995, it might be time to reconsider your options. I'm opening up my schedule for more one-on-one video consultations because honestly, I can't stand to see another kidney cry out for help while its owner is drowning in misinformation. If your goal is to protect your kidneys and you're tired of playing diet roulette, shoot me an email to Catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com so we will be able to talk. You will also find a link in description to contact me directly if you are interested. Okay guys, up next, what should you do if you get diagnosed with CKD stage 5? Stage 5 is when most patients are started on dialysis, and if possible, they can also be put on a transplant list. Now guys, my best advice for anyone who is in stage 5 is to hang on tight and survive. Consider starting dialysis if you need to. Stay on that transplant list if you are given that option. And there are still a few little things that we can do to preserve that little renal function is left in stage 5. For example, an issue I see many dialysis patients have is swelling. This is especially a problem for those on hemodialysis, and it can be alleviated by reducing fluid intake. Another problem in stage 5 is phosphorus management. Dialysis is very effective at removing certain uremic toxins, but not all of them. Phosphorus is a common issue for people on dialysis. In fact, when on dialysis, you are supposed to eat a little bit more protein because now you are doing dialysis, which is going to remove nitrogenous toxins. What they don't tell you is that dialysis doesn't really remove phosphorus that well. So you go back to eating steak and boom, your skin itches like crazy. What to do? Reduce protein intake and most importantly, focus on foods that are low in phosphorus while being rich in high quality protein. Some examples: egg whites and soy-based foods, including tofu, are your best friends here. Even fishes like tilapia and haddock have a good phosphorus to protein ratio, but nothing beats egg whites. And guys, I know I rarely talk about stage 5 CKD, so if you want me to make more content about this, let me know in the comment section. Or if you want to know more about the renal diet for all the stages, watch this video up here, and this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Ciao, ciao.